Okay, so I want to honor everybody's time, so we're going to start on time, and hopefully other folks will join us. And if not, they can catch up listening to the recording. So, Transformation Intensive 2017. What beauty is seeking to emerge as you? And that really is the basis of the whole intensive. It is to tap into and give permission to and tools for you to emerge as the most authentic, brilliant, magnificent you that is already present inside of you. Questions come up. Are you tired of being all wrapped up in your little cocoon? It's safe, it's comfortable, it's familiar, and sometimes we get tired of being there. Do you want to break free of old habits that are holding you back, which is oftentimes the comfort zone of our cocoon? And the biggest question is, are you ready to stretch your new wings and glide into the life you want? Now, for some people, it's an absolute yes. For other people, it's nah. But for most folks, we kind of land in the, well, maybe. Because it's a lot. It's a tremendous amount to even think about. So who wrote this curriculum? Might be one of the first questions. It was certainly one of the first questions I got when I rolled it out in 2015. And honestly, it's a collaboration between spirit, love, the divine, God, whatever you call it. It's that essence that we can't see, that, you know, it really is the creation and the creative aspect and the intuitive and all of those things. And so that combined with this amazing human being called Gavin de Becker. Gavin de Becker wrote a book. He's written several books, but the first one was The Gift of Fear. And I'll tell you a bit more about that in a minute, but that really was the turning point for opening the door for all of this. And then me and every person that I have, in every event that I've ever experienced, out of that came this collaboration. I was at a place where I had lost my job. I was having knee replacements, and I had a lot of time to just sit and contemplate. And so as I read Gavin de Becker's book, Fall in Love with Fear, what it opened up for me was a whole new context of my life, a whole new context of finding truly beyond acceptance, finding the gift in every experience I'd ever had. And the door to that was literally falling in love with fear, not tolerating it, not embracing it, not being willing to learn, but to truly fall in love with it, to invite it, to be excited when it came into my life, because I began and continue to understand two things about fear. One is that it never lies. Absolutely never lies. It's either informing me about a viable danger to my physical well-being, or it is telling me exactly with laser accuracy what is in my consciousness. And so from that perspective, fear never lies. The brilliance that I began to understand and see is that fear is actually a function of the intuitive. And we go into that in great depth, but just to give you an overall framework, that is what it evolved out of. And as I began to go deeper into that perspective, what evolved was a framework of a 5-class series that started with a vision board. And so what is the intensive? It starts with a vision board workshop, which you'll see later. I'm actually giving that away. this year. It is a series of 5 consecutive 6-week-long classes with a 2-week break between each class. Each one builds on the information from the previous class. The first class is Fall in Love with Fear. And I've given you a little bit of detail on that. Essentially, that is really reframing and understanding what fear really is versus what we've been taught that fear is. Learning how to really operate in love with fear so that we are more effectively gleaning all that we can from that intuitive process and beginning to tell ourselves the truth about what we have related to as fear that in truth is not fear at all, which leads us into a process of understanding and embracing the change process. Most of us want change, and in the process of changing things, we are oftentimes our own biggest roadblock because we don't really understand that change is a process. We see it more as an event. We want to hurry up and get to the end. And without really understanding and embracing the process, we're often frustrated. In this class, the understanding and embracing the change process, you will absolutely walk away with tools that empower you to truly change the things that you want to change. In that process, really putting the change into practice, living the 4 agreements came to the forefront. We spend the first 2 weeks in that really looking at how agreements have been established within us and what those are and how they function. Because in order to live the 4 agreements, first we have to understand the ones that we're already living by and empower ourselves to break those agreements, take our power back, and then channel it into living those 4 agreements. That will take us to the concept of Healthy Relationship 101. And you'll notice that there is no S on relationships. And that is intentional because I can only be as healthy in my relationship with other people as I am with myself. And so this is really a 6 weeks focused on relating to yourself, how you relate internally to all of the different aspects of yourself and how you relate to the world through that inner relationship with self. It's a very powerful 6 weeks. Putting all of those together, we arrive truly at now finally having the power of choice. Choice is operating all the time. It's, as Ernest Holmes said, it's impossible to live a choiceless life. We can actually do that consciously when we understand the power that is within our choice and how to most effectively use that. So, when is it being offered? There are 9 different options available to you. They are 3 sessions every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. There are morning sessions from 8 to 10:30, afternoon sessions from 12 to 2:30, and evening sessions from 7 to 9:30. All of these are Pacific Standard Times, and I will provide you with a time converter if you need that. If you just go to timeconverter.com, you can actually pull that up and see what these times are in your own time zones. Where is it? All the classes will meet online using the Zoom platform. So you attend from the comfort of your home, your office, wherever you set up shop. I do have one restriction that you cannot join the meeting from a moving vehicle. especially if you're the driver, but even a moving vehicle, period, because one of the things that we've learned is that that creates a tremendous anxiety for other people watching, just because of the movement and just, we're in this human experience. So it lends itself more to distraction than cohesion. So we simply don't do it. All the class content and discussion forums will be provided and maintained in the Moodle open source learning platform, which is what we use with Holmes Institute. It's a great tool. There are no books required. I will put everything that you need, all of the files to download, all of the handouts, everything will be posted in that Moodle open source learning platform. Both platforms are password protected to ensure your confidentiality. And after the class, they will be up there for a certain period of time that we all agree on. And then past that point, that will be taken down again to ensure confidentiality, so that it's not up there in perpetuity to where anybody can, hack into it or access it. That won't happen. How is it structured? All the classes are presented in what I call a blind curriculum format. And what that means is that you don't get anything beyond the next class. You don't get a full year-long workbook. And the reason for that is because I really want folks to be in the moment. There's a tendency when we are doing deep internal work to shift into avoidance, and oftentimes it's unconscious avoidance, and then folks start looking ahead, and what that does is it serves to take us out of the learning and the experience that we're in, and this intensive is designed to lovingly, gently, kindly move us through that discontent so that we can really reap the benefits and really harvest all of the gifts that are in that. And so each week you will get the curriculum for the next week, but nothing to work ahead on. Due to the highly interactive nature of the curriculum, I really want at least 4 people in each class and an absolute capping at 10 per class. More than 10, and there simply is not enough time for everyone, and I'm committed to individualizing this process with each of you. I will go as low as 2, but I really 4 is the ideal for the minimum, because there's a lot of interactive work, and ultimately we'll let spirit guide us and how we all match up, and we'll see what happens. Can I change to a different day and time once I start? Well, yes and no. Yes, before the start of each class, you can change, provided there's space in the class you want to join. If there's already 10 in there, then no, you can't. No, after the class is started, during that 6 weeks period, you cannot shift. And the reason for that is because groups, in the intensive work that we're going to be doing together, the energy and the relationships get very quickly established. And if folks move from one spot to another during the middle of a class, it really disrupts that activity, and it disrupts the process and the learning for everybody. So in between classes, if you take the whole intensive, at the end of Fall in Love with Fear, you want to shift to a different class, you have 2 weeks to make that decision, because there's a 2-week break between every class. Once the next class starts, there's no shift. Okay? What equipment, technology do you need? Need a computer, a webcam, a microphone, preferably with an earphone because it eliminates feedback. You need an internet provider. That can be either, through your home, through your phone A lot of folks log in through a hotspot, all that technology I know just enough about to be dangerous, but there are multiple options for that. And you need electricity or at least a 2.5-hour battery life, because each class is 2.5 hours. What if you only want to take 1 or 2 classes and you don't want to take the whole intensive? No problem. Absolutely no problem. The curriculum, the whole program is designed so that you can take the whole class, the whole intensive, or you can opt in for the classes that best meet your needs and that you want to, provided there is space available. Obviously, the priority space goes to the people that are doing the whole intensive. Is it affordable? I think so. The vision board journey is $25, and each of the other classes, the Fall in Love with Fear, is $200. Understanding and Embracing Change is $200. Living the 4 Agreements is $200. And The Power of Choice is $200. So if you take them as a standalone, the total investment is $1,025 for the year. Now, I listen to Spirit, and this is what Spirit consistently tells me to do with this class, so I'm going to do it again. If you'll invest $1 a day in yourself for a year, I'll invest $1.81 a day in you for the same year. What that amounts to, what happened? Where did we go? Oop, all right. There we go. Back up. Not sure what happened there. Okay. Just a silly slide. I do care that much. And so what we're looking at is I'm going to give you the vision board journey free. It's on a videotape that you can do the vision board in the privacy of your home. You can use it with a small group. I really encourage you to do that before the classes start in February. We're going to take away the Fall in Love with Fear price. We're going to take away all these prices, and I'm going to give you the whole thing, literally $1 a day. Your total investment is $365 for the whole class. Oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm touching the keyboard. Sorry about that, folks. First webinar, and I'm learning. So, is there a catch? What's the catch? Absolutely, there's a catch, and here it is. You've got to pay in full by February 1st to get the whole program for $365. Okay, that's the catch. And that's really the only catch. I'm also going to give you 50% off individual coaching sessions while you're registered for any single class for only $30. Regularly is $60, half price. If you're part of the intensive, you get 50% off for the whole year, even during those 2-week breaks. Okay? So in summary, if you commit to and pay for the Complete and Transformational Intensive 2017 by February 1st, you get $1,025 value for only $365 plus half off individual coaching sessions for the whole year. You pick which session will be best for your schedule. Remember, there's a minimum of 4 and a maximum of 10 for each class, so having a first, second, and third choice is a really good idea if you can do that. Take just the classes you want for $200 each, plus half off of the individual coaching sessions while you're in class. The thing to remember here is that space is limited. So be kind to yourself by accepting that the class you want may be full. Best way to avoid that, do the whole intention. Even if you only want to take 2 classes, you are saving money doing the whole intention. And I would hope that you would actually do the whole intention. Please don't take up a space that you don't really intend to participate, which takes us to the last one. Active participation is part of the agreement. Each individual in the class is a vital part of creating the healing environment. There's a special bond that happens in these intensives. So you're asked to take this commitment seriously, to show up for yourself and for your classmates. And that's pretty much it in the summary. Rafe Ellis, religious science practitioner. I also have my MBA in Org Psych and Development, and I am a ministerial intern through the Holmes Institute and the Center for Spiritual Living School of Spiritual Leadership. That's a mouthful. You can email any further questions or concerns about the Transformation Intensive to ti2017@loveandservice.org. If you have something that is personal to you and I, you're welcome to email that to rafe@loveandservice.com. And you're welcome to call me at 916-390-7036 so that we can discuss it. For those of you who don't know me, there's my mugshot. And I'm going to stop the screen share now so that you can actually see me live to the camera. This takes just a second. And there I am. Okay. So I am live. I am real. And I say that because oftentimes I've been to webinars that I thought were going to be live. They were advertised as live and they really weren't. So it is Saturday, January 7th, 2017 at 10:22 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Does anybody have any questions? If you would put those in the chat log, I will be happy to address any questions that anybody has so that we streamline this. It is being recorded, so anybody listening to it after this date will be listening to the recording. When do the classes start? Will they be recorded if I miss one? The classes start February 1st, and I will be sending everybody a link to my website. The website is simple to get to. It's loveandservice.org. Let me type that in here. If you go to the website, you'll see a page for Transformation Intensive 2017. It lists each of the options for the class, but the February 1st is a Wednesday, and so the Wednesday sessions will start, and then the Thursday and then the Tuesday sessions will happen later, and all of that is outlined in detail on the website. Will they be recorded if I miss one? That is the plan. The only reason that they won't be recorded is if a particular group makes a group consensus to not record the classes. And again, that's because of the sensitivity of the information. It is my hope that there's enough bond and enough trust within the class members that we'll have that option. We certainly have the technology for it. And again, I really honor the agreement that folks make for their own safety, because if people don't feel safe, it won't happen. So, any other questions? And even if they're not recorded, Andrea, what is available to you is to connect with me via email, and I will give you a rundown. And part of the Moodle, one of the beauties of the Moodle is that there is an ongoing chat forum where classmates can participate and have conversations about their process and the material. So there will be, even if it's not recorded, there's other avenues for catching up and getting all the material. Any other questions? Oh, it is my pleasure to offer it. And I promise you, you will be different. You will be different at the end of the year, in the most magnificent way. It I feel incredibly blessed that Spirit has seen fit to use me in such a way. Deborah just typed in truth, and she was in the first intensive in 2015 when I did this through the Center for Spiritual Awareness in West Sac. And that was a pretty intense journey in and of itself. You know, having a husband-wife team is very different when one is the facilitator and one is the student. I think we both learned amazing things, and it ultimately brought us much closer. So you can, I'll address that. We have had married couples in the class together, and it worked really well. Because part of that process then becomes learning how to be in your own process while you're in a process with your spouse. So it brings up some very unique and interesting things. Other questions, comments? Okay. So honoring time again, this is great. We've actually kept this to a half an hour, which is exciting to me. I'm always thrilled to know when I can be succinct. As a budding minister, we're not known for that. So thank you for attending. Thank you for your excitement and your energy. I look forward to sharing this amazing process with each of you, and to growing with you, and to witnessing you transforming your life. Thank you.